All right, let's work some more examples on rationalizing the denominator. I'm a huge believer in practice makes perfect, especially when it comes to learning math. So let's work some more examples. So let's try 3 over the square root of 3. Now, whenever I put up a new problem, please feel free to pause the video, try it on your own, and then come back into the video and we'll walk through it and make sure that you got the correct answer. So please feel free to pause the video at any point and try these on your own. All right, so I do indeed have a radical down in the bottom, so I'm going to need to rationalize my denominator. This is not completely simplified. So I'm going to multiply by the square root of 3 over the square root of 3. So I'm just going to take the denominator, that radical down in the denominator, and multiply top and bottom by both. All right, so I have 3 square root 3 over now square root 3 squared. Square root and a square cancel, so I have 3 square root 3 over 3. 3 divided by 3, well, if I simplify that, anything divided by itself is 1. So technically we say that cancels out, or it goes away, or it divides out, however you want to call it. And we're just left with the square root of 3. All right, so that was our first example. Next example, let's try 3 square root 15 over 4 square root 2. All right. So you're thinking, oh, well, this is new. We've got a coefficient being multiplied by our radical in the bottom. Not a big deal. Still, we're just going to multiply by what's underneath that radical because that's what we want to go away. That's what we need to make squared. So we're going to do square root of 2 over the square root of 2. All right. Now, 3 just comes out as 3, and we multiply what's underneath the radicals. 15 times 2, square root 30. And we get 4 times the square root of 2 squared. Square root and a square cancel, so I'm left with 4 times 2 in the bottom and 3 square root 30 in the top. And then I have 3 square root 30 over 8. Okay, so now I ask myself, is this completely simplified? Well, 3 over 8, there's nothing other than 1 that 3 and 8 can both be divided by. So 3 over 8 is simplified. Now square root 30, thinking about the factors of 30, is there a perfect square that goes into it? No, there is not. So this is our completely simplified answer. 3 square root 30 over 8. All right, for our last example, let's try 10 square root 18 over 45 square root 44. Okay, so sometimes you don't want to jump straight to the rationalizing because I don't know about you, but I don't want to multiply 18 times 44 and then try to simplify it. I just don't. So let's see if we can simplify this first. So 10 over 45, first of all, what can both 10 and 45 be divided by? Well, 10 ends in 0, 45 ends in 5. Anything ending in a 0 or 5 can be divided by 5. So we have 2 square root 18 up top and 9 square root 44. All right, so now I'm going to see if I can simplify my square roots a little bit in both top and bottom. So basically I'm simplifying the top and I'm simplifying the bottom and I'm keeping them kind of completely separate at this point from here on until I'm ready to do the division. So square root of 18, I have, well, 9 goes in 18. So square root of 9 times the square root of 2. And then I have 9 times the square root of, well, 44. Well, that's 4 and 11. And 4 is a perfect square. So now I have 2 times 3, square root 2, over 9 times 2, square root 11. So now I have 6 square root 2 over 18 square root 11. All right, now again, I've simplified it, both of my square roots, as far as I can. So now I'm going to see, can I simplify these coefficients again before I start throwing that 11 into the mix? So 6 over 18, well, that simplifies to 6 over 18. Divide both by 6, I get 1 over 3. So 1 times the square root of 2 is just square root 2 over 3 square root 11. Okay, now I want to get rid of that square root of 11. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by square root 11. And I'm going to get square root 22 over 3 times the square root of 11 squared. Square root and square cancel. So I have square root of 22 over 3 times 11, and I get square root of 22 over 33. Square root of 22 is completely simplified. There's no perfect square that goes into it. And 33, there's no other coefficient up here that can divide and help to simplify 33. So square root of 22 over 33 is our completely simplified answer. Again, if you want to check that, go put this first part, go put that in your calculator, being sure to put the top in parentheses and the bottom in parentheses, and then put your answer in the calculator and it'll give you the same answer.